What's going on, everybody, and welcome back once again to the channel. And man, it is already the divisional round. We are down to the final 8 teams for the 2022 NFL season, and I'm going to be giving my thoughts on these divisional round games. It was a wild week of super wild card weekend, I should say. But yeah, without further ado, let's begin. So the first game, Jaguars at the Chiefs. Jaguars coming off of that euphoric come from behind win against the Chargers in Wild Card Weekend, a wild one. And the Chiefs had a bye, obviously. So the Chiefs are obviously the more experienced playoff team. Jaguars are still getting into the gist of this thing with Trevor Lawrence, but they do have a Super Bowl winning head coach in Doug Peterson, so he knows what this is all about. Look, I don't think this is going to be a walkthrough game for the Chiefs, but I do expect the Chiefs to be able to win this game and have a good hold on the game throughout most of the way. I got the Chiefs winning it 34-20. Then the Giants at the Eagles, the Saturday night game. This is a very intriguing matchup to me. Obviously, they played twice already this season. First time was with both teams all-out starters. Eagles blew them out in that one. Funny enough, in the second matchup, where the Giants didn't play their starters, but the Eagles did, it was actually somewhat of a close game. Eagles had firm control of that one. Giants kind of closed in a little bit there towards the end, had to settle for a lot of field goals with their backup crew on offense and defense, but Jalen Hurts has not played a meaningful football game in over a month. He was out for a few games there towards the end of the regular season. Then he played in that final game of the regular season, but that game, they weren't facing starters of the Giants, as I mentioned. Now they had a bye week. Jalen Hurts has not played a meaningful game in about a month. I think it's very possible that Jalen Hurts and this Eagles offense may come out a little bit cold out there. I think they're going to come out a little bit cold, and I think the Giants are going to come in fired up and ready to go and don't want to lose to one of their biggest rivals for a third time in a season. These two teams do not like each other. I expect this game to be a low-scoring game for the most part, and I think it's just going to come down to, what defense can get more takeaways, but I think this is a game that the Giants can very easily win, but I am going to indeed pick the Eagles. They're the better team, they should win, and they're coming off of the bye, but I do expect the Eagles to come out a little bit cold, and maybe the Giants get the lead, build a 10-0 lead, but ultimately I got them losing it 22-19. Then the Bengals versus the Bills. This is obviously another big matchup here. Winner to the AFC Championship game to most likely, hopefully, play the Kansas City Chiefs. But, I think both of these teams, a lot of people are expecting a shootout, which I do too. But I do think in the early going, there's going to be a lot of running in this game to settle in, and I think both of these teams have tremendous pass defenses. Their weakness on their defense, which isn't really a weakness, but it's still not at where they would want it to be, is both of their run defenses. So I do think the Bills and the Bengals will both try to establish a running game early with their guys. But as the game goes on, defenses adjust. I think this game will start to turn into a shootout, and I think this is the kind of game that it could come down to who touches the ball last. Both of these quarterbacks right now, and particularly Joe Burrow, has been on a roll. This game can obviously, in my opinion, go either way, but I'm going to take the guy who's a little less reckless with the football in Joe Burrow. We saw Josh Allen turn the ball over 3 times against the Dolphins, and was really a big reason for why the Dolphins were able to get back into that game. Whether those picks were his fault or not, the one to Xavier Howard, I would definitely say was his fault. Why would you throw up a 50-50 ball to John Brown on Xavier Howard? The fumble was his fault. He's not holding the ball and protecting it correctly. I think that could ultimately be the difference in this game, and I got the Bengals winning it 38-35. And by the way, why isn't this game on a neutral field? Then the Cowboys versus the 49ers, the final game of the divisional round. Um, Obviously, this is a classic matchup. These two teams played in the playoffs last year as well. 49ers got them in this one. A lot of people are hyping up the Cowboys off after that Monday night win over the Bucks, but what you got to realize is, yeah, it's the Bucks. But this Bucks team has really not been the same this year, as we all know, as at least we all should know and acknowledge. This Bucks that Bucks team the Cowboys shut down. That's really what we've seen from the Bucks all year long. Struggles on offense, inconsistency on defense. So I don't take this as a shocking win for the Cowboys that, oh, this team all of a sudden is a true Super Bowl contender like some people seem to be making them out to be. Sure, can they beat the 49ers? Yes, they can. And if they do, then there's no reason to believe they can't beat the Eagles or the Giants in the championship game. I totally agree with that. So in that sense, they are a contender, but I just do not think they're going to be able to handle the 49ers. I think the 49ers are going to be able to run all over them. Even though the Cowboys' run defense is pretty solid, I still think they're going to be able to run all over them like they did last year in the wild card matchup. And I do think Nick Bosa, Teron Armstead, and rookie Drake Jackson are going to be able to get good pass rush on Prescott, something that Prescott really did not have to deal with against the Bucks. He was able to pick and choose his targets against a bad Bucks secondary. I just think that the 49ers are the better team. Now, here is the ultimate, key to victory, I would say, for the Cowboys. Can Micah Parsons get to Brock Purdy early? If Micah Parsons is able to continue to pressure Purdy early on in this game, who knows how Purdy will be able to, rec- recoup there? Because if he's getting sacked a lot or a strip sack fumble happens, yes, the Cowboys definitely have a shot, but I think the big player that the Cowboys need to step up if they're going to win this game is Micah Parsons. But I ultimately have the 49ers winning it 27-23. I do not think the Niners will run away with it, but I do see them winning it. I don't think this is a game that I want to say can go either way. I do think the Niners win it unless they beat themselves. But comment down below what you guys think about all this. Who do you guys got winning these games? I'm really excited for these games. I'm pumped up, and yeah. But I didn't mention at the beginning of the video, make sure to subscribe and sack that like button if you haven't already. Really helps the channel going, and maybe if you subscribe, your team will automatically win in the divisional round, and if your team's not in the playoffs, then you're shit out of luck. But other than that, I'll see you guys next time.